So you can see if you move your head around,
Yeah.
you can see if you look up you can see the ceiling, if you look down you'll see you're not got any feet.
Oh no. I got to do something pretty cool this week, but first, I took a trip to the sea with my family. Not the warmest weather, but it was nice. It was cool. And it got me thinking about the last video that I made about flooding. Maybe it sounds really simple, but like standing there looking out at the sea, I realized water is around us all the time. We use it all the time. We're made of it. And I don't know hardly anything about it. By the way, if I sound a little bit weird in this video, I've got quite a bad cold. Ugh, gross. I decided to take myself back to school and relearn the basics. Water is made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. That's H2O. It can be liquid, solid, or gas. There are roughly 1.5 billion trillion litres of water on Earth. 97% of that water is salty, 2.1 is locked up in the polar ice caps, and less than 1% is available as fresh water. The Antarctic has been covered in ice for more than 30 million years. Our bodies are between 60 and 70% water. We each drink around 1,000 litres of water a year. You use 8 litres of water to flush the toilet, and water covers 70% of the Earth's surface. Well, that puts some facts about water back in my head. My very hazy head. Did I mention I've got a cold? Anyway, now I'm going to the University of Hull to meet an expert on flooding. I was meeting with Chris Skinner, who works in flood modelling at the university. After he led me through the building that he works in, which is a bit of a maze, I thought I'd start out by asking him the same question that got me started on this whole thing. The idea that Hull could be underwater within 100 years.
This is a commonly held view with people around here. The actual reality is a lot more complex than that because we have flood defences in place. And for places to flood with seawater, it has to actually be connected to the sea. We can see in 100 years' time that with our current flood defences, for a normal tide, even a high spring tide, we won't even get any flooding in Hull. The real flood risk comes from storm surges, so like the event we got on December 5th, 2013, which caused a lot of flooding around the estuary, a lot of flooding in the city centre of Hull. This is when we get a storm which comes out from the North Sea. With climate change, we've seen rising temperatures around the world, and with that raises sea level. So we're both warming the ocean, and as you warm water, it expands, it takes up more space. So that extra heat in the atmosphere makes it more energetic, and it makes storms more likely to happen, and more likely to be even stronger and even bigger. The risk to Hull of flooding is from these storm surges. I found all that fascinating, and it gave me a much clearer idea about what the truth might be. Then I spotted something interesting in the corner of the room. And this is a virtual reality demonstration. It's like a virtual river valley. You can walk around, and then we send a big flash flood, a big wall of water down there, which is full of debris, completely destroys the river, and you can explore and see what it looks like afterwards.
Obviously, that's something I need to have a go on. Okay then.
So I'll just pass you the controller.
Thank you. I'm about to be flooded.
So the thunderstorm which caused this flood was about an hour's walk away, right at the top of the river valley.
Oh wow.
So this is a flash flood, so we've not got brilliant graphics, but they do the job.
What would happen if I was in that?
You'd probably be dead.
Oh.
The first game I had was called Humber in a Box, which takes our model of the Humber, which we use for the flood modelling, merges that with a gaming engine and allows you to view it in virtual reality. So if people wanted to have a go at this themselves, if you go on YouTube, you search Serious Geo Games, we've got a Humber in a Box video up on there, and if you have a tablet headset like one of these, you just put your phone in and it turns your phone into a virtual reality headset. There will be increasing stress on the coastlines. There will be rising sea levels around the coastline. I think in the space of the next 100, maybe 200 years, we continue along our lines of emitting so many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and continuing global warming. We're probably looking 500, 600 years into the future. Then we run a risk of sea level rise just continuing to rise, and then at some point we'll have to start abandoning cities like Hull.
I've learned a lot today, obviously, about flooding, and I didn't know things like this existed, that I could go be in a virtual flash flood. I'm still a little bit disorientated. I can barely say disorientated, I'm that disorientated, right? But that was fascinating, like first-hand to be close to a flood like that, because I never have been. So you know what to do if you enjoyed this video.
you can like it, and if you want to see more stories like this, you can subscribe as well. Thanks.